filthy animal. Alright, so this is the decathlon, which is a SLS competition between Koston and Shane O'Neill's teams. It's a very serious competition. We're going to break it down. Well, I'm going to break it down in terms of their jumping, and hopefully you can learn what to look for when you're jumping and how to improve your jumping game on your skateboard. So, let's go. First, we got Eric Koston rolling up here. This is just style points. Everyone wants to see Eric Koston. Alright, so right here, I've slowed this down for you. I'm going to show you a few basic principles here that are going to apply through the rest of the video. And if you see them now, you'll be able to see them later. So you'll notice here, if we go in slow, right here, he's jumped straight up. And notice his kind of Z, or lightning bolt type position. I guess it's backward Z, where his torso is coming boom, boom, boom. You can see the mouse cursor. So this is one of the two ways that they're going to jump today. And if we rewind it a little bit, you'll notice that he jumps, and right here, he's in this kind of lopsided S, this reverse S shape. He hasn't fully extended his hips. He hasn't pushed his hips through yet. So that's going to leave some power on the table, basically. So it might be because it's a low bar, but because he hasn't fully extended, he's curvy, he's not straight. That's going to lose power. So as he finishes the jump, he relies not on his muscles, but on his ability to lift his legs up. Okay, but he's nice and balanced. He's going to let the board roll away very well. So right here, well, this is just sick. We don't have to worry about that. So this one's interesting. If you notice how his knees buckle in, right? And if you notice the angle of this foot here, it's landing on the nose, which means it's not going to be straight up and down because the nose is curved. It's facing inwards. It's making his lower leg point to the inside even more. So the problem with that, well, you can see here, he had an injury report, is that generally speaking, when you land, you want all your joints to be lined up. You want your ankles, your knees, and your hips to all be in a straight line. Basically, here's a straight line with the ref right here. His knees are not buckling inward. His knees are buckling inward. And basically, the more you do that, the more stress you're putting on specific parts of the joint of the knee, and basically you're leading to an imbalance that eventually will most likely injure you in one way or another. Case in point. Now, a slow mode right here, because if you see this jump, this is the second style of jump that we're going to see from this man, and he kind of just kicks his legs out to the side instead of tucking straight up. It's a very interesting style of jumping. I don't think he developed it. I think he has it innately, and it's just what makes more sense to him. So we'll do that throughout the video a little bit more. Plus he's got a soda or something. Alright, so this is the most important part, I think, in this video, is this ballistic approach that you'll see that they all take, that they probably don't even know they're doing. So he's adjusting his feet. Here I think he was going to tray flip under instead of jump, but then he changes his mind. So right here, he lowers himself. It's almost like a baby jump. He's not standing upright. He's already bent. But this is the jump, right? He hops a little bit, and then he sets up for his jump before actually jumping. So watch that again. This is, again, super important. So his whole setup, he hops into his feet, literally leave the ground, leave the board, and then he sets up into his jump. Now, whether he knows he's doing that or not, that's going to improve his ability to jump higher. Watch. Carlos does the same here. See that? That kind of double bounce? Boom. So, one more time. Basically what he's doing is he's storing up kinetic energy, or he's storing up potential energy here. So he's coming up. He's going to apply force downwards, which is going to basically load his legs up to spring higher up, and he's going to be able to jump more. So if you've ever, and then you get these points for grabbing your board, obviously, and not falling off. So if you try and jump high, and you have your feet together, and you're trying to jump straight up. If you just jump, you'll get a certain height. But then if you walk or hop into that jump, you notice you jump higher, right? Like if you take a running start or something. That's the exact same principle here, except they're on a skateboard, so they can't take a running start, so they have to do the next best thing, which is basically a mini hop or loading kind of preloading their. So right there, we saw the same thing. And again here, instead of pulling his knees to his chest, notice how upright his torso is. This allows him to basically, well, because he's moving his legs out to the side, he doesn't have to compress his torso as much. Because his torso is not coming down as much, he actually has more ability to stay in the air, more hang time. All right, Koston, again. This is just for steez. Oh, yeah. So you notice here, his center of gravity is actually forwards. So his hips are back, his legs are forwards, and we can tell that he's falling. And basically, if he's going to land further back than he is going to be forwards. And obviously, his feet aren't going to be under him. So yeah, look at that. He landed back more, so there's a lot more weight on the back leg. But he still does a good job. I think it's his experience of still being as balanced as he could be. He's absorbing his impact well, right? His knees aren't buckling in. I mean, they are, but because he's so wide, they're buckling in as little as they possibly could. And he's probably just learned that over time, which is going to help. Well, probably one of the reasons why he's had such a long career is because he's kind of understood some of these things. Yes, slow-mo. Bullshit. Yeah. All right. So, notice that double take again. I'm going to find that. See that? Up, down, hop, boom. I don't remember what I had to say about this one. All right, so that's a perfect example, right, Carlos? Right here, he's going to jump higher by taking this running start. The problem is he's deceiving himself because he can't do that on a skateboard. So here he's jumping higher, and maybe it's just a confidence booster, right? Here he's jumping high enough to clear it for sure, but he's not going to be able to replicate the same run up on his board as when he was actually running up to it. So this is higher than he can jump on the board. Alright, so key tenet here is how balanced he is before he actually leaves the board. Now, he tends to dip down a lot lower than the other guys. So you notice his angle, he's like in a full squat almost. Which is gonna, some people will jump higher, some people won't, it depends. It's personal preference, but he's very balanced. As soon as he leaves, he's going straight up. He's not off balance in either direction, and you notice he has almost full extension. His hips are pushing through almost all the way. You notice the angle of the foot here. He's pushing off with the calves a little bit, so he's really recruiting all these muscles, which not all the other skaters do. Boom. Cool. And he smiles. All right, so Carlos, right? This is a great example. Once again, see double take, balance, sets up, balances here. Now see, he doesn't go as low. He's still got that kind of lightning bolt shape. His hips don't drop as low as Kevin's. So he jumps, he does it again. See, he never achieved full lockout. He's here, he never pushed his hips all the way through or extended his knees. So he didn't develop the most amount of power that he could get out of this. He's still in this weird lopsided S shape. And then he tries to make up for it by sucking his legs up, which he does a great job of. He can get, look at that, his knee is touching his chest. That's great mobility in parts of his body, but he's leaving a lot of power on the table. So he could be going higher than this. But in textbook fashion, he lands away super clean. Here's another angle. So notice the double dip, right? He's rolling up. He dips down, up, back down, jumps, but does not right here. Alright, well, right there. That's the best. That's pretty good, but he's still a little bit kind of curved. And notice it doesn't look like he really pushed off his calves so much. And he just does a good job of getting his legs up, which is what saves him. That was actually his best jump. That was the highest he's gone so far. And that was the best execution of a jump. Boom. Let's look at that again. So see, double take, squatting down a lot. You'll notice it's the same as last time, right? His back knee actually turns in more than his front knee, and that's just kind of because you're on a skateboard, you're trying to look forwards even though your body's pointing one way. It's going to lead to imbalances no matter what. But notice he's kind of on the balls of his feet here. His heel is hanging off. He's going to be able to propel himself more by pushing off the balls of the feet than off the heel. He jumps up, and this is an interesting point, how he's so high up, but he's not, right? He's not pulling his knees to his chest like Carlos was, for instance. This is the other kind of jump. And I think his butt actually is what knocks it down instead of his leg here. But he still lands with great balance. So, dip. All the way down, springs up. Right there, look, full extension. This is what we're looking for. As he's pushing his hips through, he's pushing off of his calves here. Every muscle here is engaged. And on top of it, his arms. His arms are up right now. And as the jump goes, right here, he brings them down, right? His hips aren't going to go much higher now. He's already just about the peak of his jump. But because he swings his arms down at the right instant, it allows him a fraction of hang time, which allows him to get the time to turn his legs over to get over the bar. So whether he knows it or not, he's just timing his jump really well, which the other skaters have not been doing. And I doubt that any of these guys have actually practiced any of this. So he rolls up here, so he's going to dip, he's going to come up, he's going to basically jump, right there, full extension. See, he's really using his calves again. He's making this nice straight line. His arms are up, and right at the point, he starts slamming them down, which is going to allow him to get his hips up. Look, he's even making a fist. That's how intensely he's bringing his arms down to really try and get that air time to keep his legs up that way. And just so close. But you'll notice here, his knees also buckle a little bit, right? That would be something that you could fix to increase the longevity of his knees and his body, generally speaking, is he'd want to kind of, as he lands, he wants to absorb more with his hips by allowing his knees to come out. That's a whole other discussion. Got another angle here. Yeah, and that time he cleared it. And he fell off. So apparently that was actually a world record height on a hippie jump that he didn't make. Well, he definitely jumped high enough. Now he's dead. And he's back. So I want to look at that again. Right, full squat. Again, this is unique to him. If a lot of you trying to replicate this, it probably won't work. Most people are probably better off squatting like partially, because however you feel like you jump better is what you should do. You shouldn't try and emulate someone else's unless you try it and it works for you. So he's really upright. Right, shoulders are basically over the balls of his feet here, which is what we're looking for. And notice his board is very balanced. There's very little tilting. That's going to be crucial in actually landing and jumping right. If he's got too much tilt in any direction, he's just not going to pop well. Not going to stay balanced in the air. So right as he pops off, notice he's jumping. His board is going this way, and he's already jumping this way. So he's already pushing off in this upward diagonal direction. So that's already losing a little bit of balance for him. Right there, we notice once again, super important, is this full extension here. Look at that, full extension. He's really pushing his hips through. He's really pushing off his toes into the board. He's really raising his arms up high, and he pulls them down right at the moment that he wants to tuck his legs up. In this case, it really looks like his hips have cleared it, and he's just timed it really well. Again, he's making fists because of how intensely his upper body is working for this. He's even using his ankles. Look, he's twisted his ankle in just to get that extra half-inch space. Boom. And the reason he didn't land balanced was because even though he was well balanced here, he pushed off, and right here, right, he's jumping this way, the board is going this way, and that's what's going to cost him the jump right here. His center of gravity is already here, right? It's not just over the board, it's a little bit forwards. So when he lands, he's going to land going forwards. His feet are going to land going in the direction that his shins are currently aiming right now, and that's what ends up kicking his board out. He tries to adjust he over adjusts, right? Because now it's a slippery floor. He's leaning back this way now, tries to catch it, tries to hang on, and it just doesn't work. But I mean, that was an incredible jump. It was almost perfect. Here's a sick photo. But notice once again right here, he is balanced. He's balanced, but the board is going a different direction. And if the board was able to go straight, he would have rolled away, perfect. But he did not. But that was sick. Again, all the little details here. And that's how you should feel after your session if you've practiced. Now, I hope that you can see some of the continuing tenets in jumping, and you can apply those to your own skating. And let me know if you got any questions. Now go skate.